Ladies and gentlemen, the pleb is back. In this report, we got to talk about the polling situation for Mark Carney over on X as Pierre continues absolutely dominating Carney when it comes to preferred prime minister, which is completely different from these official polls. Also tonight, Mark Carney caught red-handed hiding the prices on groceries behind him because of how expensive groceries are in Canada. You won't want to miss this report. Stick around. Before we start this report, if you want to see less immigration here in Canada, smash that subscribe button because you found the right home. Before we start this report, just want to take a moment to plug my party this Saturday in Calgary at Ranchman's. Now, many of you know I'm going to the Conservative Convention this week, but it's not just me. Mostly all big content creators will be in Calgary this week for the Conservative Convention. And it's a very rare occurrence that all of us are in the same place at the same time. And I said, why don't we use this opportunity to do something nice to the people? Do something nice to the people who are the reason that we don't have 9-to-5 jobs anymore. Let's give back to those who supported us. So for that, we are throwing this party at Ranchman's this Saturday, completely free of charge. First come, first serve. Better show up early because this is going to absolutely sell out. Not everyone's going to be able to get in. And for those of you who are asking, pleb, where is Northern Perspective? Where's Moose on the Loose? Where's Mr. Sunshine? I invited all of them. Every single one was invited to this party. Unfortunately, not everyone can make it this Saturday, but I think I assembled a pretty awesome cast of content creators. And if you can't make it to Calgary this Saturday, tune in live on YouTube, where I will bring you into the content creator party with a bunch of huge special guests that I did not put on the poster. I'd like to say one more thing to the people of Alberta. Now, some in the Alberta independence movement has somehow said that me coming to town is a giant distraction against the Alberta independence movement. And I want to make something absolutely clear right here, right now. I support the people of Alberta. You are my favorite province in the country with the coolest people by far. If it wasn't for the province of Alberta, this channel would not be the success that it is. And I want to let you guys know that I support you in your quest for independence. I absolutely do. I just don't think it's in my place as a French kid from Quebec to meddle in your politics. But I want you guys to know that I do support you. I support the people of Alberta figuring this out in a referendum if they want to stay or if they want to go. I completely sympathize with Albertans. I know how you're feeling. When you are in an abusive relationship, eventually you have to say enough is enough and stop letting your abuser abuse you. And that is the relationship that Alberta has had with Ottawa for as long as I've been alive. So to the people of Alberta, best of luck, in your quest for independence. If Alberta becomes a republic, I guarantee that I'm going to move there because Albertans are my people. And I want you to know that I support you. If you stay in Canada or if you start your own country, nothing changes. I love the people of Alberta and I support you 100%. Welcome to your Tuesday report. Now, today you guys are getting a longer episode because I got to cram everything in right before I leave here for the convention. But tonight's first story will be about Pierre and Mark Carney, who recently went absolutely viral on X over a Twitter poll from a liberal pollster asking the Canadian people, who would you prefer as prime minister, Mark Carney or Pierre Poilievre? And this story all started with this poll put out by Polling Canada, who is a far left activist pollster aggregate over on X, who put out this poll trying to own everybody, showing Mark Carney getting 69% of the votes versus Pierre Poilievre after about 45 minutes of being up. Now, I didn't build this big X audience or this big YouTube audience not to be able to flex my power for good every once in a while. And by good, I mean flipping Twitter polls because it's absolutely hilarious. And it took less than 20 minutes and one retweet for us to flip this poll from a Mark Carney domination, to Pierre Poilievre taking the lead. And after we flipped the poll, I put out this post here promoting the poll, showing that after 10,000 votes, Pierre Poilievre had a dominant lead over Mark Carney and the Liberals with a 59% vote share. And the people started absolutely melting down. And this post here started going viral, receiving hundreds of thousands of views. And the left got so triggered, especially Polling Canada, who tried to hit this post with community notes. This is how triggered they are, saying, a random Twitter poll is no way verifiable nor accurate. Official polling contradicts the statements of the Engage in Farming OP. In my post, I said that Pierre Poilievre is getting destroyed on Canada Polling's poll. I told no lie. And thankfully, this dirty trick from the left didn't work of putting community notes on my post, because when you put community notes on a post, it destroys the visibility of the post. It removes the monetization. They kill the visibility. This is why the left tries to hit you with community notes. And I think it's hilarious watching the left literally melting down over a poll they put out themselves. And within an hour of us promoting the poll, the story started to trend and going viral, giving us headlines like this, saying X poll flips to Poilievre over Carney amid contrasting surveys. Absolutely hilarious. Everyone was talking about this poll. And within 8 hours of promoting this poll, I present to you this screenshot right here. I worked my entire Saturday so I could bring you guys this, the absolute perfect reversal from 69% Mark Carney to 69% Pierre Poilievre after 35,000 votes. This poll went absolutely banana on Sunday. And I'm proud to announce that the final results were an absolute blowout here, with Pierre Poilievre receiving 69% of the votes after almost 46,000 people voted on this poll. We made it go viral. We turned it into a story. This right here is some of my best work. But this story actually gets funnier because Canada Polling decided to double down here and put out this poll asking the people if Pierre Poilievre should be allowed to stay on as conservative leader. And 65% of you voted yes, he should stay on. Absolutely backfiring in his face. But nothing beats this beautiful ratio I put on him, answering his question, saying, yes, Pierre Poilievre should stay on as leader. With these numbers, absolutely. But the terrible polling for Carney doesn't end just there. It actually gets even funnier, as a Toronto page this morning put out this poll on X, and it's the worst beating I've ever seen on Mark Carney in the polls on X to date, as Toronto Morning put out this poll saying, who would you prefer be the next Prime Minister of Canada, or the Prime Minister of Canada, with 94% of you voting for Pierre Poilievre. Absolutely embarrassing for Carney and the Liberals. And this is probably why the Liberals want to ban X in Canada, because this is the place where all the conservatives hang out. And another reason I think the Liberals want to ban X in Canada is because this is a free speech platform where conservatives can actually have a voice and not get banned and expose the truth. And yesterday is another perfect example of why the Liberals want to ban X in Canada, because Mark Carney was once again exposed for pulling the same BS moves that Justin Trudeau did during his reign of terror. And in our next story of the night, this is another perfect example of why the Liberals want to ban X in Canada. Now, for those of you who are not on X, formerly Twitter, is a free speech platform that doesn't ban you for speaking your mind, doesn't ban you for exposing the truth. And yesterday on X, I exposed more truth about the liberals that went viral as well. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed at yesterday's press conference where Mark Carney was talking about lowering the cost of living for Canadians. Well, I noticed one thing about this press conference, and I noticed this with Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland, is that when they go to the grocery store, they specifically hide the prices behind them because groceries are too bloody expensive in Canada. And I asked my audience this question: how is this any different from the propaganda we see coming out of North Korea? As dear leader Carney tells Canadians everything's okay, but behind him, he has to hide the grocery store prices because things are expensive in Canada. Things are bad in Canada. The liberals are distracting you with Trump, while Canadians could barely afford to eat. They can't even afford a simple life of going to the restaurant once a month, and certainly they can't afford their first home. Things are really bad here in Canada, but our government has masterfully distracted all the peasants with Trump derangement syndrome. And it's truly hilarious how the liberals are using the exact same moves as the Trudeau administration. Hide the food prices, distract the peasants with COVID, now with Trump, just keep the people distracted while we have real problems here in Canada. It's actually completely evil that the liberals are doing this to their own people. It's gross. And this was not just Trudeau who did it. Chrystia Freeland did it as well. In this famous picture here, in front of her podium, no prices behind her, because things are terrible here in Canada. And all the left wants you to do is focus on President Trump when we actually have real problems in this country. All right, folks, that's it for this report. I'll be back with another video later on today or tomorrow, but I want to ask you guys this question as I end off this video. What is the biggest issue to you as a voter here in Canada? Is it President Trump? Is it the cost of living? Is it crime? What is the issue that matters to you the most? I really want to hear it in the comments down below. And if you guys enjoyed today's report, make sure to like this video, smash subscribe, leave a comment. I read all of them, or you could buy a membership for $5 Canadian. My name is the Pleb. I'll see you at the next report. SOS Canada. Peace.